The Prince Warriors, Volume 3, Chapter 20, Devouring. Brianna and Ivy sat on the front porch of Brianna's house, watching Star play on the front lawn. Brianna threw a tennis ball, and Star raced after it as fast as her legs could go. She grabbed the ball before it even stopped moving, but then refused to bring it back to the girls. She stood holding it in her mouth, wagging her tail, expecting one of them to come and get it. "She doesn't play this game very well, does she?" Ivy observed. "Definitely not a retriever," Brianna sighed. The girls looked up when they heard the hum of bicycle wheels. Brianna saw that it was Victor riding a bike down the street. "Victor!" she called out, jumping up and waving. "Hey!" Victor stopped his bike and looked up, an expression of surprise on his face. "Oh, hey!" he said, smiling. "Do you live in this neighborhood?" The two girls got up and crossed the lawn to the sidewalk. Victor put one foot up on the curb to keep his balance. He leaned back, one hand on the handlebars. No, I was just passing through. Funny I should run into you." Star began barking and growling, tearing around in circles. "Star, stop that." Brianna looked sheepishly at Victor. "She's just a puppy, still in training. Would you like some hot chocolate? Nana Lily's hot chocolate is famous around here." Victor glanced up at the house. "Sure, but are your parents home? I mean, I wouldn't want to intrude if they were." "I live with my grandparents and my little annoying sisters. Grandpa Tony's not home. He's at the hardware store. Nana Lily told him to fix the faucet or there would be no dinner." Brianna laughed. "So he's going to fix the faucet." "Oh, well, hot chocolate sounds great," Victor said, getting off his bike and laying it down on the lawn. He followed the girls up to the porch while Star continued to prance around him, growling and barking. "I'll just wait out here." He sat down on the top step, ignoring the dog. Brianna went in to get him a cup. Ivy sat down next to him. He rubbed his hands together as if he were cold. "It's getting chilly," he said. "Yep, winter's coming. Although it never gets really cold here. Where are you from?" "Up north." "Then winter will be a piece of cake for you," Ivy smiled. "You like it here?" "Haven't been here long enough to say, but everyone's been real nice." "That was cool watching you skateboard with Levi the other day. Pretty smooth for your first try." "Yeah, I pick things up fast." Brianna returned with a cup of hot chocolate and sat down on the other side of Victor. "So," she said, "when's the last time you were there?" "There? You know, a Hortoss." Not long ago." Victor sipped the chocolate. "Did you get the sword?" Ivy asked. "I got that a long time ago." "Really?" Brianna was impressed. "So did you open your locked room too?" "Sure. Wasn't that awesome?" "No, it definitely was not awesome," said Ivy. "It was empty." "Oh, right. It is. The first time." Brianna straightened. "The first time?" "Yeah, Ruach loves to test his warrior. The first time the rooms look empty, but the second time you'll see the rooms are really full of incredible stuff. All sorts of new weapons and cool treasures and fancy armor. Wait till you see the new breastplate. So much better than that white triangle thing you have to wear." He paused, glancing at their odd expression. "Oops, maybe I'm not supposed to tell you that." "How long do we have to wait?" Ivy asked, eager to hear more. "Oh, I don't know. Could be a while, but..." He paused, glancing at Ivy with narrowed eyes. "If you really wanted to see, I could probably get you there." "You mean go to a Hortoss without being called?" asked Brianna. Victor nodded. "I do it all the time." "Can you show us?" asked Ivy. "Please?" "Sure," Victor said. "It's the least I can do for this awesome hot chocolate." "No, wait," said Brianna. "Mr. JR said we needed to figure it out for ourselves. If you tell us, it would be like cheating." "Oh, don't worry. Ruach told me it was okay." "He did?" "Yeah, he told me I should tell anyone who asks. Look." Ruach knows things are pretty crazy here with those pods and all, and you need extra help. And you are definitely going to need the stuff in those rooms to deal with the pods once they get open. Oh, so Manuel must have told you about the drill, said Ivy. What? Oh, yeah, sure, said Victor. He stood up. If we're going to do this, we need to go somewhere we won't be seen. Could freak people out if they saw us disappear. Right. How about the side of the house, Brianna said. There aren't any windows. Perfect. Brianna led Victor and Ivy around to the side of the house where Nana Lily had her vegetable garden. A white fence separated the property from the house next door. A large chestnut tree blocked the view from the street. Victor looked up at the houses on both sides to make sure they weren't being watched. When he was satisfied, he turned to the girls. What's this? Victor stood, legs apart, and raised his arms in a V. His fingers splayed. He took a deep breath and brought his hands together in front of him, his fingers closing tightly. From between his closed fingers there came something like an electric spark that made the girls jump and start to bark madly. The spark became a bolt that shot out and hit an invisible wall in front of him, spreading up and down, like a gash in the middle of the air. The girls gasped as they saw the gash begin to widen into a dark doorway rimmed in brilliant light. There, Victor said with a gasping voice. Run through, now. Where's the crest? Asked Brianna. There should be a crest. Better hurry, can't hold it long, Victor said, straining with all his might, or so it seemed. Let's go, Bree. Ivy jumped into the portal and disappeared. Brianna still looked uncertain. It's going to close in a second, Victor said. Don't leave your friend all alone. Are you coming too? Right behind you. Brianna bit her lip and ran through the portal. Star barked crazily as Victor spread his arms apart, sealing the portal with the two girls inside. He glanced down at the barking dog and smiled. He picked her up, holding her so he was looking right into her little face. She growled menacingly. Sorry, Star, he said. Your owner won't be back for a while. Maybe forever. Brianna and Ivy looked around. They were in the centrum, the main room of the cave. Ruach wasn't anywhere around, but since he wasn't expecting them, they didn't think much of that. Nor did they take note that they were still wearing their earth clothes and that they did not have on their armor. We made it, said Brianna. We're really here. Victor wasn't kidding. Where's he? I thought he was coming too, Ivy said. He said he was. Maybe he's already in the Hall of Armor waiting for us. Oh yeah, maybe. Ivy glanced around at all the tunnels. Which way is the Hall of Armor? I have no idea. Just then one of the tunnels lit up purple. There, said Ivy, pointing. There it is, all lit up for us. Let's go. The two girls dashed into the purple tunnel and followed it through many twists and turns until they came to the Hall of Armor. Their own armor was there on the wall next to their doors, but Victor was not there. Maybe he couldn't come, said Ivy. Maybe someone saw him and he had to close the portal. Yeah, maybe, Brianna murmured. Look, the doors are already open. That's weird. Victor said they would be, Ivy said. Didn't he? Let's look inside. I'm not sure. Ivy ignored Brianna's hesitation and pushed her door all the way open. Whoa! The room was huge, much bigger than she expected, and it was filled with everything she had imagined. Rows and rows of golden bows, sheaves of arrows, and bright gleaming swords. There were shields too, huge shields, taller than she was, and armor like she'd only seen in fairy tales. Gorgeous, engraved breastplates of brilliant gold and silver. Giant chandeliers hung from the ceiling, casting everything in a magical glow. It's amazing. Ivy took a step inside. Immediately, the door behind her slammed shut. She turned, puzzled. "Bree, did you shut my door?" she called. No answer. She tried to open the door, but it was locked. Suddenly, the room darkened, the beautiful weapons and armor fading from her view. She reached out to grab one of the golden bows, but her fingers slid right through it as if it wasn't really there at all. Even the walls began to fade, replaced with rows and rows of glowing green bars. "No!" Ivy yelled. She whirled for the door again, but the door had become bars as well, glowing a sickly green, like the door of a prison cell. She grabbed hold of the bars and shook them, trying to peer through in hope she could still see Brianna on the other side. But all she saw was utter darkness. "Bree, can you hear me? Bree!" She rattled the bars as hard as she could, yelling over and over. "Bree, open the door, let me out. Bree, can you hear?" But Brianna didn't answer. She can't hear me, Ivy thought, or I can't hear her. She was cut off, locked in a prison. Victor had lured them both into a trap. "Bree," she yelled, "if you can hear me, don't open your door. Don't go in your room. It's a trap. Victor, he did this. Please, please get me out of here." Ivy could feel the bars of the prison cell closing in on her. She closed her eyes, fighting panic. She whispered, hoping Ruach could hear her. "Please get me out of here." "Ivy?" Brianna pounded on the door and called to her friend. She could hear Ivy yelling, calling for her to open the door. She pulled and pulled, but the door wouldn't open. She cried out, "I can't open the door, it's locked." But Ivy kept on yelling as if she couldn't hear Brianna. Ivy was warning her not to open her door. It was a trap. Victor. Brianna felt panic rise in her throat. She glanced at her own door across the passageway. It was still ajar, a golden light emanating from within. It looked so inviting. It was only then that she realized that she was not wearing her warrior clothes or her armor. She thought back to when she and Ivy had come through the portal. There had been no water either. It was a trap. Victor had led them into a trap. Now Ivy was locked up and might soon be turning to metal. And Brianna was... where was she? How would she ever find her way out, let alone rescue Ivy? Before she had time to figure it out, the floor under her feet began to tremble. Footsteps, big, heavy footsteps. In the distance, she saw a pair of round, red, glowing eyes. A forger. "I'll come back for you," she whispered to Ivy's door, and she ran down the tunnel searching for a place to hide.